So yeah, here we are, episode 7 of the Let's Talk Mortgages podcast, and this week we've got Brad Martin of now the Lee Leopards. Thanks for joining us, Brad.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. Just about to join Lee. November 18th we start.
So your pre-season date now?
November 18th, we're training Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
right?
Just that week, and then we're back fully on the 25th of Monday. So it's just, I think, younger lads and senior players coming week after.
Is that testing week?
Testing week. Bronco, I've already asked him. Bronco and Yo-Yo.
I don't miss that.
I always get really nervous for it. Yeah. I always practice it like a couple of weeks before and stuff just to see where I'm at.
Yeah, I remember when I was at Hull KR, we got a new conditioner and he said, right, we're going to do the yo-yo test, and no one had ever done it before. So the lads were getting it on iTunes and going to the gym, putting it on and practicing it in the gym.
Practicing the bleeps.
Yeah, it's we're going to do all this other stuff as well, not just this, but everyone was petrified of that one test.
It's fine. I prefer the yo-yo to the Bronco because I suppose you push yourself, but when you're that tired, you get called out.
Yeah.
Whereas a Bronco, you're carrying on till you finish, aren't you?
Well, the Bronco, it's more, because you've got to do that distance, haven't you? Whereas the yo-yo, you just drop out when you can't keep up anymore, don't you?
Yeah, literally. We did one yo-yo at Cass where you had to go down. So you started on your front and then did it, but all the other times I've just ran.
Yeah.
So that were a bit different.
So obviously people know, anyone that's followed us on social media for a while know my background was rugby. I'm 3 years retired now, and I feel like a new man. 3 years of not getting my head kicked in every week.
Yeah,
a lot happier, a lot more time on my hands. Got a social life now. But for obviously people that don't know you, give us a bit of a background about kind of who you are, where you are now, and what else you've got going on, because you're quite an interesting guy away from rugby, aren't you?
Yeah, so I first started obviously when I came out of school, went to Leeds. Spent 4 years at Leeds through the youth ranks and everything like that, and then left and went to Cass. Just spent 5 years at Cass, it was my 5th season. I then signed at Lee for 2 years. And then away from rugby, I started with the sourcing business when I was about 17 years old at Leeds.
Which is Max, I knew you had the sourcing business, but I didn't realise you'd started it that early.
Yeah.
So what was it that got you, obviously rugby's one thing, so what got you into property and property sourcing, especially so early?
So when I was at Leeds, I obviously joined from about 15 years old. A couple of the older lads, as I moved up into the first team when I left, were in property. But they was buying just vanilla buy-to-lets and a couple of HMOs and things like that. And I wanted to do it, but as well as rugby, when you're younger, you're on peanuts.
Yeah.
You're on literally nothing, which again people think you're on a massive wage from younger and older, but you're not. So I wanted to get into property and Leeds as well. When I was there, it was a bit up down. Them sometimes telling me you're going to get this contract, but as well as I do, nothing's confirmed until it's on the table, really.
Yeah.
So I was always a bit uncertain and a bit probably scared of. I probably couldn't play rugby if it was just rugby. Because you're on contracts like that Lee one, it's 2 years. After the 2 years, if that club don't want you, no other club wants you.
Yeah.
You're unemployed, you're stuck. I couldn't, and I still couldn't live with that now.
Yeah.
So I was looking around and seeing things I could do in property with the little money I had, about 1,500, £2,000 to spend on it. And the only thing I could do was a sourcing business that I could think of. It's about £1,500 set up with your compliance and everything. Set up at 17.
So was you finding properties for the players in the squad then, or?
No, I want to be fair, and it probably came in a little bit more when it cast towards the back end of when I was there. But there's actually a hierarchy in rugby, isn't there?
Yeah.
So as a young lad, they used to laugh at me, and they did at Cass as well. I had that van, I had it all PPS'd up and sourcing business, all I got some right stick for it. But it helped for the marketing stuff, and I wasn't bothered as long as it brought more in for the sourcing company. But me going in, even at Cass at 18, 19, 20 years old, you say to one of the older lot, that's 30, I wrote this deal in Hull, it's a really good deal.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, they're no chance. I'm not trusting you with anything. So there was a trust factor there, which towards the back end, there's Nathan Massey buys, Greg Eden he buys.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit with those guys and speak to them. Jesse, Senny Lefeo, I've done some stuff with them guys as well.
Yeah.
So there's some players here and there that I do stuff with now, or did before.
I think it is getting bigger. Like obviously, there's a bit of an age gap between me and you. Like I'm 34, end of this month. But like when I came through, that was the thing that senior players did. Like you made your way through from the crap contracts. Like my first contract when I was 21 was £8,000 a year. I still remember to this day taking home £667 a month, paying board, paying for a car. My car insurance was more than the car. And by the time I'd got to training and back, I had about £200 a month left to myself, and I'm like, this is me living my dream. So when as you start to work your way up, that's when you get half decent money, but then you're thinking, well, I'm mid to late 20s now, and you know you're not going to do it forever.
You'd start thinking.
Yeah, that's it. But for you to do it so early is it's just completely out of the norm for most people, isn't it?
It is, to be fair, and I always push through it because there were a couple of players that were looking and thinking, you're stupid, like you're just wasting your time, what are you doing? But there were that much uncertainty, I think, at Leeds, like from my head. And then when obviously I ended up leaving Leeds, which proved the point, I had to have something else. But when Leeds gave me the news that they weren't going to extend my contract anymore, so that's why I left.
Yeah.
And I was obviously a bit nervous and everything, but because I had the sourcing business and the property stuff behind me, it was like, well, if I try and get another club, I'll just focus on this. I was still at home, so not much expenses, so I could just focus on that. So it's definitely helped, and I think along the years it's helped massively. Like I just wouldn't probably play without it.
Yeah, and like it's kind of like scary, like how mine and your like careers are so similar. So first of all, playing the same position, we crossed paths playing at Cass.
Yeah, you're
moving over to Lee. I got them relegated in 2017.
That didn't happen to
me. Because I was kind of the same. Like I'd worked my way through at Hull KR. Like contracts got better and better as I went along. And then I started putting that into property, and I wasn't going to do that forever. But in 2016, I shouldn't laugh because it is awful, and I do feel really bad. But thankfully, Hull KR are in a better place now than when I was there.
Yeah,
got them relegated in 2016, left there and went to Lee, and I got them relegated in 2017. So within the space of 12 months, I got made redundant twice. So I'm like, yeah, I need something to fall back onto. So I had a couple of properties at the time, so I was like, well, I've got a bit there. But then that's when I started to train to do what I do now, because rugby's not going to be there forever. And even if I have got a contract, it's not necessarily set in stone either, is it?
No, it really baffles me and kind of annoys me a bit how some of the lads don't get into it. But I think like at Cass last year, there were a group of us young lads, a really good group. Everyone was trying to do something. Everyone asking questions. Every time I went in, it was like a questionnaire show, asking questions about properties, like business, limited companies, that kind of stuff. But I don't mind. So I don't think there's enough support around the players for afterlife. They have obviously Rugby League Cares, but that's like fire service, which I think 2 or 3 lads got turned down for the year before.
Yeah.
And like it's proper careers, but there's nothing.
They're good for the grants, aren't they? Like they give me a few grants for my training and stuff. But
yeah, exactly.
Even with the best intentions, like you've only got so many resources. You can only reach so many players, can't you? But it's a lot better than what it was. But yeah, it's still got a long way to go on it.
It is, and again, I've probably only experienced it for the time we were at Cass. I never did it while I was at Leeds, but all the stuff that they seem to come in and say is for life after rugby. But what about life now?
Yeah.
Like, what happens if, like we were saying, your contract ends, you got another club?
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah.
Like it needs to be something you can do alongside rugby.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of the younger lads, especially at Cass, were getting into property.
You might agree. I mean, like, I did the qualifications for sales and lettings before I did CMAT to become a mortgage advisor.
Yeah.
But having that extra interest took the edge off what was happening at rugby. Like, if you played under Darryl Powell, like he was like rugby league was everything to him.
Yeah.
I remember we lost a game on a Friday night, and it took until the following Friday for him to speak to some of us.
What are you saying? Yeah.
But then like I had studies, so I was like, yeah, do you know what? Rugby's not going very well at the moment. I played crap. We lost. Coach ain't talking to me. But I'm bettering myself something here, and I've got something to take my mind off it. Because I remember, like, all I did was play rugby at one point. You'd go to a family gathering, or you'd go to like a friend's party and stuff. It's like, oh, how's rugby? And it's like, yeah, not great. I don't really want to talk about it. And then you've got nothing else to fall back onto.
And then the people just put their heads down, don't they? But
yeah,
I agree. Like, mentally, like, I get you got to be all in with rugby and your training and your nutrition and everything, but it's helped me massively, like you said, just having a bit of headspace away from it.
Yeah.
Like after the game, great if you have a good win. Like if you're playing on a Thursday, on the Friday, you're probably back at work. You've got loads of messages to answer, loads of emails, so you just get back on it. But I think it's hard for people. And again, rugby, you have a little bit of time. Like if you finish training at 1-2, you have a little bit of time afterwards. But it probably stops people doing apprenticeships. You're very limited to what you can do. I think that's why a couple of young lads don't carry on playing rugby or go champ, because there's not actually much you can do, and the wage isn't good enough to live the life you want to live, really. Well,
that stopped me using the sales and lettings qualifications, because I thought, I can do that around rugby.
Yeah.
You really can't. Like, it is a good life. You finish at 1 or 2, so you have got the rest of the day to do something, but not enough to run an estate agent. Whereas mortgages, like a lot of my clients I see on an evening, so I could be a rugby player 9 till 1, then I'd be a mortgage advisor 1 till whenever, and I could build that when I moved. Like my investment journey, I bought my first property that year that we got relegated at Hull KR. So when everything was going belly up there, I'd finish training at 1, I'd drive to the buy-to-let that was refurbing, I'd spend a few hours painting the living room or whatever, and it'd all just like disappear. So so you started the sourcing at 17. Like, what was your first investment?
So first investment I bought, well, we actually invested in Rent to SA, I think at about 18 years old.
Yeah.
And because that's what we sourced primarily in the sourcing business, but then we moved on to like buy-to-lets, HMOs, like buy, refurbish, refinance projects.
So people that don't know what SA is, give us like Rent to SA. So obviously SA is serviced accommodation, so short-term rents, couple of nights here, couple of nights there. So what's like rent to service accommodation?
So basically rent to service accommodation, so say if you've got a landlord, you go to the landlord and say, I want to rent your property on a 3-year term, I'll give you £1,000 a month for it. But I'm then going to re-let it on Airbnb for £100, £120 a night.
Yep.
So obviously you make your margin through, you pay your rent, you pay the bills, and then you're getting £100, £120 a night, and you make your margin that way. It's a great strategy for people starting off, and I know a couple of like rugby lads have said, what do you think about Rent to SA? Shall I do it? Because you probably get in for, you got to pay for your furniture, first month's rent and 5 weeks deposit. So you could probably get in for 6 or 7k.
Yeah, as opposed to a 25% deposit on something.
Exactly, as opposed to 30k. So it's a good starter point. I don't regret doing it. We don't have the units anymore. We were one in Doncaster. It was 67 Newmarket Road. I think we had one in Peterborough. Got bed bugs.
Oh God.
got bed bugs, and we had it treated 3 times and couldn't get rid of it.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting rid of it.
To the ground.
Yeah, we ended up getting rid of it, lost all the furniture and everything. But the unit did well while it was running. And then we had one in Nottingham that did really well. So that kind of started it off, but the problem with Rent to SA is you don't own the asset.
Yeah.
It's great for 3 years, or after the 12-month mark the landlord can give you notice.
Yeah.
But it's a great starter one. So we started with Rent to SA at 20 years old, I think, while I bought my first property.
Yeah.
I've got a thing, it's probably a personality trait of mine, I dive in really fast.
All or nothing.
I don't know, it might come from rugby, I'm not sure, it could be anything, but the first property I bought was a 6-bed HMO on Grafton Street.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, number 68. I ended up, so I wanted to buy, and my dad's always wanted to buy as well. He was going to buy with his brother, then didn't end up doing it. I think a lot of the older generation, and again, people I speak to, everyone goes, I want to buy a property, I want a second property, but probably 1% does it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I think people are scared, but as I said, I'm going to do it. He said, well, I'll do it with you. So we ended up forming the first company to buy in, went 50-50, and it helped with me because I wouldn't have got a mortgage on that 6-bed HMO without him.
Yeah.
Because he had previous properties, previous landlord experience with one buy-to-let, and that got me the mortgage on it.
Yeah.
So that worked for us, and then we let it. We refurbed it, bought it for 120, spent about 22 on it.
Yeah.
We just had the refinance at 160 now.
Yeah.
And then, we've had it let ever since. It's been probably the best property we bought.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. Like I remember that first house I bought, I knew nothing about buy, rent, refurbish, refinance, like nothing like that. I was like, I'll just sit and wait until I can afford another deposit. I'll keep saving the rent. And I was like, this is going to take me forever. And then because I'd like a half decent contract at the time, saved up, and I was like, I can go again. And then I discovered that. So I bought a house in West Hull. That was a repossession sale, so that was a nightmare. I don't know if you've ever gone through that.
No, I've not.
So they don't call them repossession sales anymore. They call them corporate sales. So if someone's got a mortgage, they don't pay up the payment, it gets repossessed. A company is then instructed to sell that house for as much money as possible to make sure it covers the mortgage that's outstanding, but any costs associated as well. Yeah. So what they do is, even if you make an offer and you're top bidder, they leave it on Rightmove, but then they put like a little notice saying current offer is 70k or whatever. So I think we got it for 70, but then I was getting a phone call from the estate agent every week, and I'm like, every time I answer, I'm thinking they're going to tell me someone else has outbid me, and all they wanted to know was an update. I was like, can you stop ringing? Because it's giving me a panic attack every time you ring me. But that finally went through, and then we spent about 10 on that, refinanced it for 100, so I got all my money back. And then like that little light bulb just goes off, and I was like, I can just keep doing this now.
That was the beauty of it. Like, every project I've ever done has been a buy, refurbish, refinance, and plus like the money we're making from the sourcing company, making our daily money from rugby, so I could live a little bit on that. And then we had other businesses as well, like the DSAs that we had. We could just keep recycling, but every time we'd refinance it at a new deposit, we'd have another little bit of chunk of money from the businesses to go again.
Yeah.
I think when we had the first one, it was a massive rolling effect from then. We bought the second one, 65 St George's Road. The first time I went through planning permission with the council, which were a massive eye-opener. They were really helpful, to be fair, but the stuff you need, like flood risk assessments, you need all your floor plans, you need obviously all your fire alarm, certs, everything.
Yeah.
So we changed it from a 3-bed to a 4-bed HMO. We bought it for 72.5, spent about 25 on it, plus planning, including planning fees and everything. Refinanced that at, I think, 115, which I think did me a bit on the valuation. So that mortgage is up next year. So.
I think that's where the opportunity is, though, because like as soon as you say I need to start talking about planning permission, this, that, and the other, a lot of people just step back because they either don't know about it or it's quite intimidating. Yeah. So usually the deals are where there's a problem to be solved, which some people either don't know how to solve or just don't want to take on.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have a clue how to solve it. I just dove in.
Jumped in with both feet like normal.
I just dove in, and again the planning officers at the whole council are brilliant. They actually help you through it. Like, I would get in so many things wrong, even to the floor plan. Didn't know I needed a flood risk assessment, and they were giving me numbers of people to ring. Yeah. And now you just end up with a massive team. I had some great beard, Lee Oldfield. He helped me a lot. He's done every single refurb for us. He does them for the clients.
Yeah, he's done some for us. Yeah.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He helped me a lot. I think it's just having the right people around you to help.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, when we've helped you move personally, and we're going through like all the different businesses you've got, the companies you've got, the stuff you're going on. I was like, I struggle to run one business, but yet you've got 7 or 8, and I was like, how on earth do you like manage all of this? So like, how do you manage it all?
I leverage a lot of other people's time.
Yeah.
I've always had to do it. I've always been used to doing it because of rugby, and sometimes I feel guilty, which probably makes me work harder, after 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, because people are working while I'm training and messing about in the gym and stuff. So yeah, I really have to leverage people's time, which it costs a little bit, obviously, with like staff wages, but I've always had great business partners, like the letting agency we've got, KK Accommodation now, Chris, brilliant business partner, and we've got like Annetta, Casper, Victor, Pavo. As long as you've got a good team around you, which I've always had to have, I just have to lean on other people. Yeah.
I was going to say, because when I was looking at that, I was like, this is hard enough for me to keep a track of it, let alone you, and you're in it every day. Yeah. So it's like, your journey's changed from like rent to service accommodation, buying your own, now taking on a lettings firm as well. So kind of like, what's your long-term property goal?
I've always thought about my long-term goals, and they keep changing every year. My goal was always, like, from an investment point of view, to buy 5 a year. Yeah. With the ones we've got going through now, I think we'll do units wise. So we've got a couple of blocks of flats going through. We'll do close to 10. So then it has to change next year. Now it has to go to 12 or 15 or increase. But the main thing for me is keep building the portfolio up. So when I finish rugby, I can always lean on it.
Yeah.
So
is it like an income thing for you then? Like you're trying to replace an income for when you retire, or is it capital growth you're going for?
No, it's always been cash flow with me. Always been cash flow and income. I think because I'm so young, I'm only 23 now. Capital gains is great, but...
Well, not after the budget.
Not after the budget now. Thank you. Capital gains is great, but I've never focused on it because I see it as a bonus.
Yeah.
It's always been cash flow. That's all we did. 6-bed HMOs and 4 beds. We've got the one on Park Grove, which is 7-bed to an 8-bed HMO.
Yeah.
I've always been monthly cash flow and build that cash flow up. And if it goes up 20 grand in value, brilliant. I'll refinance it and pull some equity out.
Yeah.
Always cash flow.
Yeah, I was always told, like, providing you've got a tenant and the tenant's paying, the rental income is guaranteed. Like your cash flow is guaranteed, providing they are paying. Capital growth is a bonus because people come to us and it's like, where should I buy? I was like, well, what are you trying to achieve? Because if you're buying typically an ex-council house, they'll rent really well because that people that grew up in that area kind of want to stay there. Mortgage is going to be cheap. It'll still rent pretty well, so you'll get that cash flow, especially if you've got interest only. That sort of property is probably not going to go up in value as much as somewhere in Swanland or somewhere like that, but you have to pay 400-500 grand for something like that, so you're not going to get the cash flow. So people are like, well, do you sacrifice cash flow for capital growth, which isn't guaranteed, or do you forget about capital growth and just look at the income side of it? That was my strategy anyway, like to replace my income when I finished playing rugby. Didn't get enough houses. I retired at 30 because I just got fed up. But probably a bit like you, like because you've got so many things on in your mind. Like when I retired, I was part time, so I'd do my day at work, then I'd go train on a night. But then like I'm stood there like out in the freezing cold, like soaked to the bone, just thinking about I've got to submit that application now. Or did I ring them? And then the ball comes to you and you're like, right, I've got to do something with this now.
You start talking about mortgages when you're on training page.
I'm like, you know what, there's so many other things I could be doing right now, and instead of getting like soaked to the bone and getting flogged. But that was me at 30.
And that's when you know, don't you?
Yeah. I told the coach, like, season finished in October. I told him in the April, like, just so you know, like, this season's finished, I'm off, I'm
this
done.
This is me.
But I was much more excited to like get up and go to work and build a business than I was to do rugby. Like rugby for me, I'd got to that point where it was an itch that I felt like I'd scratched. Like my career was on the way down. Like I probably wasn't going to get back into Super League, and because of my business, I didn't really want to either. So I was quite happy with that. But yeah, so having two is good. But if it starts to affect, but you seem really good at like handling the two. I don't know how you do it.
I think it's because I've always done it. Ever since we were like back end academy reserves, first team at Leeds, I've always sort of juggled them. I mean, it gets hard now and then. The hardest thing that I find is on game day. Say if you're playing on a Friday night and you're waking up, you just want to chill, you know, think about the game, but then you've got everyone messaging you and emailing, got calls to take, but again, on the other hand, I sometimes prefer it because it takes your mind off the game. They work very hand in hand for me, and I prefer it. Like, if you've had a bad day at rugby, you might have a great day with the businesses, obviously vice versa, which just keeps you, I think, sound.
It was a great stress outlet for me. Like, obviously, championship play on a Sunday because everybody works full time anyway. So like, you could have had like a real like ding dong with like a mortgage underwriter, and you're like, how can you not see this? Like, I've given you everything you need, and you're still going back and forth, and then you just get to go leather someone on a Sunday, and it's like, I feel so much better now.
Yeah, you feel released. I think that's what I'll struggle with when I eventually stop playing is that side. I think like it's been off season. I've been off since the 27th of September. So it's the longest off season I've ever had. You just start to get a bit twitchy, don't you? Start to get a bit itchy with stuff, which I think when I come to retire might be an issue.
Well, I panicked and ran the London Marathon the first year I retired. I'm like, I need to do something. I've always wanted to do it, and then I just threw an application in, thinking if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. I remember being sat at work one day and I got an email from the charity that I'd applied through, and all it said was congratulations, and I was just like,
did I actually want to do it?
I've got to do it now.
I'm only joking.
And training for that was harder than rugby, so I'm like, Yeah, I kind of wish I'd stayed at rugby like one more year, but that was like how I transitioned. But you'll be the same as me. Like, I was that busy with work, I didn't have time to miss rugby.
That's the same, yeah.
And then you kind of keep your hand in a little bit, because a lot of the lads that I played with are now clients of mine. So like, I'm constantly speaking to them about the portfolios and stuff. And so you'll probably keep that as well, won't you? I guess. Yeah,
well, and I was thinking while you were saying that, a couple of the lads, probably older lads, like probably around the 30 years old, where they might have had enough, just say to me, like, why do you do it?
Yeah.
Why do you play?
I remember asking the same question,
why? Because I don't think people realise how tough it is.
Yeah.
Like, physically and mentally. It's so tough. And I was like, well, why do you do it? And I just think, well, I've always done it since I was younger.
Yeah.
I'm 23. I don't want to regret it in 10, 15, 20 years time, when I can do all the business all my life.
Yeah.
Regret. I tried to go back to play rugby at 40 years old.
Yeah. I remember us chatting about it before, and it's like there's a select bunch of really good players that can have a year off and then come back. Like, Jamie Peacock did it when I was at Hull KR. Sam Tompkins has just done it. Like, it's only them sort of players that can make a comeback. Like, if you have a year out, you lose that yard of pace, but then you also get forgotten about as well. 100%. So you are a long time retired, aren't you?
Yeah, and probably mentally yourself, you probably just think, I can't go back.
Yeah, but going through like that then carries over into business, because like you do get almost forced into rugby to do more than expected, because everyone's doing the same thing. So it's like, if he's doing extra running, I'm going to do some extra running, because you don't want to fall behind. So you just get used to doing more than of what's expected. So, which is probably why your businesses are doing so well, because well, it's just normal, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think one of my main focuses is just work hard. Like, I'm not the smartest. I've probably had too many head knocks for that. Like, the people that I work with are not the smartest, the business partners are not the smartest, but everyone just works really hard. Everyone's going to get stuff wrong, but if you're working hard every day, and it's the same with rugby, like, you might not be the most skillful player, technical, powerful, but if you work hard in training and on the field, then you get respect from people. And
that's one of those things that you can control as well.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Like, you can't control like outside factors. Like, if a coach comes in and decides, oh, I don't like the way you play, I prefer him, but you can try and work and prove a point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always found like, the hard work is like non-negotiable. That is one of the factors you can control, and the harder you work, the more opportunities seem to present themselves. So. So kind of like back on your portfolio, so you've kind of like moving into like commercial units now. So what's kind of like prompted like the commercial side of it?
I really want to diversify the portfolio as much as I can. We started with HMOs, we've done that. I think there's always more to learn, but I think we've sort of mastered our strategy and how to do it. Then we went buy to let, and now we've done commercial with a couple of flats.
Yeah.
I think as I've got into the letting agency more, started on in January with the letting agency, I've seen like how well flats and like buy-to-lets rent, but our strategy, as I said before, is cash flow.
Yeah.
Buy-to-lets is not a cash flow strategy, but commercial with flats above it is.
Yeah.
So we thought, we're moving to some commercial, and I was speaking to a lot of guys and they were saying how good commercial is. I know some people that literally just do commercial. So I wanted to sort of dabble in it and diversify everything and see what it's like. Like, everyone's talking about Section 21s and things like that. I think with a commercial tenancy, if they don't pay for, I think it's around a month, you can kick them out. And
your tenants are responsible for maintenance, upkeep. If they want to refurb it, that's on them, not just the landlord.
Exactly. Which I think is really good. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's the first commercial ones with the flats above it. They all need a refurb set from the commercial units. One's got a really good tenant in Simply Blinds. I think they're pretty national. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see how it goes. I know there's a few tax benefits as well.
Yeah,
which is always a bonus.
That also plays its part, doesn't it? Also, when we booked this podcast in, we knew the budget was coming, but we didn't know what was going to come out. So obviously at the time of recording this, the budget was 2 days ago. So obviously stamp duty is now changed for second property, so that's anything from a holiday home, buy to let, commercial units. Is that going to impact anything you do in the future, and what do you think the impact will be on other people doing the same?
I think it depends where you stand. Like, I was speaking this with a business partner, Kieran, who we're buying a few properties with, and we're very similar in terms of how we think, but then we've got an investor that we use, so we use investor finance for our deals. They finance the deals, we do all the work and a lot of the scenarios, and he's very more intense, and he would ask him about all these questions about it, and also we knew the answers we were answering, but mine and Kieran's sort of view on it was, just get on with it.
Yeah.
Just get on with it. Like, it's an extra 2% on the stamp duty. I think they should have give a time in terms of when it was going to come in, not just drop it, and then, like you were saying earlier, a couple of your guys, their stamp duty is going to change and they're completing next week.
Yeah.
So I think they should have, but they seem to have this view that property investors and asset owners are
the problem.
It's all
their fault.
Yeah, it's all their fault, and we're the really wealthy of the world, which just isn't the case. We were talking earlier that through the letting agents we have, the average is like 2 or 3 properties per person.
Yeah. We
have some massive landlords, but 2 or 3 per person, and I can guarantee they're not as wealthy as people think.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we were saying before, weren't we, like, the people we see are people from accidental landlords that have inherited like parents' houses when they've passed away, and you want to keep hold of it, or you want to keep the house you've got, but then you want to go buy the next one, so you only stay at one property. It's very rare investors get beyond 3, 4, 5 properties and beyond. So yeah, I think it is going to hit them. I just think it's going to change how people invest and also hold properties. Obviously, capital gains, you pay that on a property you own in your own name, which probably is not going to have too much of an impact on investors at the moment, because a lot of people we speak to have all gone down the limited company route. So unless they change corporation tax, that would still be the same. Stamp duty, like I say, it is what it is. Like, if you're buying property for the long term, you can probably absorb that cost anyway, can't you?
2% in it,
and yeah, we were saying earlier, what can we do about it? Me and you can sit here and moan about it, but I don't think they're going to listen to this podcast and then think, do you know what? Yeah, let's put it back down to 2%. And as we saw years ago when they changed the tax relief on your mortgage interest, obviously you can't take that as a business expense anymore in your own name, but you can in a company. Everyone just changes what they do. So then everyone went into a company, and I think it'll just change how people invest, and I think it'll just create some sort of like workaround. Yeah,
I wouldn't say the same. I don't think it obviously makes a difference, but people just work around it. Everything they bring in, there's workarounds. Like, the massive one is tax, like your big companies like Nike. They get around tax.
Yeah, there's always a way.
They get around tax. They've got companies in other countries that own companies in this country.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to get around stuff. It's just people will find a way, accountants will find a way for you, and then you just get around it.
I think it just creates that extra bit of opportunity though. It's like when we're talking about like the planning permission, or there's a property there that people are interested in because it needs X, Y and Z doing. It's like, well, I can fix that. I can solve that problem. And I think this will be the same now. Like, if you've got people that are trying to sell the property, but people aren't touching it because of the stamp duty, someone will find a way around it, and they're going to benefit.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. Not that I have to pay an extra 2%, but like, people are going to pull out the market because they're scared. COVID.
Yeah.
People started pulling out the market everywhere. I didn't.
Great opportunity for everybody. I bought most of my buy-to-lets during COVID.
Exactly. Everyone's scared. And again, you might have to wait a little bit for a tenant or to refurb it, but just hold the assets. I bought some in COVID, and they were probably some of the best deals I've done.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're saying or who quoted it, but I think when people are scared and people are vulnerable, you take advantage, which is bad, but if you take advantage, you've got to think it's going to be great for yourself.
Yeah, someone said it to me. I can't remember who it was, but it was like never waste a crisis, because when everyone's panicking and offloading stuff, hoover it up whilst it's cheap, and then a bit like you work it out after.
Well, that's when I used to buy when I was younger. I used to buy, and I'd have the money for the deposits, but might not have the money for the refurbs. And I always used to say, I'll find it.
Yeah, I've got 4 months till completion, I'll work it out.
Exactly, I always knew I had like 3-4 months. I can always drag it out a little bit if I needed to.
Yeah.
I get it, I'll find it. Or I complete, I hold them, and then when I've got the money I refurb them.
Yeah, but at least you've got that asset then, haven't you?
And you just got to pay the mortgage and the bills.
Yeah, that's kind of like what we say to people buying their own house, because like we get people that are on the fence and like, rates aren't what they were, like shall I bother? And I was like, are you really going to let what you think is a rubbish interest rate now stopping you buying the house of your dreams? Because 2 years from now the person that bought it while you were still thinking about it has now got a better interest rate on the home of your dreams while you're still sat thinking about it.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like when the interest rates were at, I think my first interest rate were like 2.67% or something like that.
Yeah.
Then obviously they run up to like 5.6, 6. And then I was speaking to some people and they were saying, I'm going to wait till they go back down to 2.7.
Yeah.
I just looked at them like, it might not ever happen. How do you know that?
Well, it took us 300 years to get to like 0.1% when COVID hit. So it's like, I wouldn't recommend waiting that long.
Just get on with it. And I was speaking to Kieran the other day and I always say it to him, I said, just get on with it. Just do it. It's sort of a saying.
That's what we got on the office wall, just get on with it.
Get on with it. Whatever's said.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, if you're holding, like, for you, like, you'll hold these properties probably till the day you die, or you pass them on to your kids and stuff. And it's like, we're really going to, because governments change typically 4 or 8 years, don't they? It's like, we're really going to worry about a tax change now to buy an asset that's going to pay you for the rest of your life, which might cost you another couple of £1,000, which is easy for me to say because I'm not buying anything at the minute. But it's just a snapshot in what could be a 30, 40 year investment journey. Exactly. I went to a golf day actually with Navigation Wealth Management, shout out to them, and they did a talk beforehand and they were on about like investment cycles, like obviously investments go up and down. Yeah. And they had a quote on there, I can't remember who it was, but it said a long flight is going to have turbulence. That's not a good enough reason to jump out of an aeroplane. Yeah. And it's like it's going to it'll level itself out, it'll land safely, but just because it got a little bit bumpy, don't be chucking yourself out of an aeroplane because it will sort itself out.
I like that. I think I've seen to you earlier, something that annoys me with the public is everyone's just so jumpy about stuff. Like everyone's jumping around about what happened the other day with the stamp duty and capital gains and everything. And it's just that I never really focus on it that much. Yeah. I obviously have an idea of what it is and the changes, but I won't sit there and go moan to my missus and start crying about it. Yeah, just do it.
Well, I think as well, like, is the fear of the unknown. Like they've said, like, what's going to happen, but we don't know the detail yet. Yeah. A bit like during COVID, it's like, well, these are the restrictions. It's like, what does that actually mean? And then 3 weeks later, they actually tell you what it means, and you all just sat there waiting. But we saw it when rates shot up. Is people just eventually get used to it. It's like it's not going anywhere. I might as well just get on with my life because otherwise I'm going to be 40 by the time I buy my first house because I'm waiting for things to get better. Yeah. And what is the best time? There is no perfect time to do anything, is there?
I agree. One of the opinions I have on it, I think some people have similar opinions that I've been speaking, it's just going to have a negative effect on, we're not classed as working people anymore. So the working people. Yeah. Like if, say when interest rates went up, rents went up. Yeah. Then people are moaning about rents going up. But rents need to go up for you to be able to afford to pay the mortgage plus get the profit to make it worth it. Yeah. Now stamp duty and capital gains, some people are going to pull out the market. People are going to start selling up. Yeah. Now or selling up gradually, one every year, which again, negative impact on the rental space. And there's still nowhere near like in Hull. There's nowhere near enough housing for anyone. We put an house up around Newland Avenue, you've got 50 people wanting it. Yeah, and I think that's why property is such a safe investment, is population's always getting bigger. We live on a small island that ain't getting any bigger. People are living longer. And I think as well, like even divorce rates come into it, is like divorces have never been higher, so people need a place for themselves. And although like the budget is almost punishing landlords, but there are some good landlords out there. There is, yeah.
And if it's harder for them, there's going to be more empty properties on the market. The issue you've got is trying to get people on the market in the first place. So wages going up is a big thing because now people can actually start saving money. People have a bit more money to cover a mortgage payment as well. But yeah, the biggest thing we see for people is not having the deposit. So unless you change that bit, because Help to Buy is now gone. So you can't get Help to Buy, but that was only available on new builds. So your landlords that have had enough and selling up, they can't use Help to Buy because it don't exist anymore. But even if it did, and these people don't have a deposit, so like, what are you going to do? You need to solve that issue first.
Yeah, I've always said, if you don't do something like business wise or a good job or a good career, I always feel like you're going to struggle. Yeah. Because you need deposits, obviously you need to pay your interest rates gone up, you need to pay your mortgage payments, your bills, people want a car on finance. Yeah. You're just going to struggle on the average wage in the UK.
Well, that's getting easier. Like I remember, I'm showing my age now. Like I'm 34 this month, but like when I was 18, when I first passed my driving test, like nobody my age had a car on finance. It was, if you were lucky, you got put on mum and dad's insurance and you drove their car when they wanted work, or you bought a banger that lasted you about a year. Whereas like now, like I see like 21-year-olds coming to buy their first house, and like they've both got a Merc on finance. I was like, when did that happen? It's like it's just so easy to get finance now.
It literally is, and I think some garages just throw it out. But there's all the, I don't know if you've seen it about like Close Brothers and all the lenders for the cars. They've all pulled it.
Yeah,
pulled out the market the other day. They'll obviously come back to the market, but they pulled out. I think it went to court, and because Close Brothers wasn't, another lenders wasn't specifically saying to the buyer who's what percentage the dealership gets from the finance company.
Yeah.
And I bet when it comes out, it'll shock some people.
Well, I think it'll end up like us, like because we're so regulated. Like every mortgage option I put in front of you, you will see what commission we get. Granted, we don't get all of it because the network get a bit, but yeah, it's on everything that we provide, so you can't get away from it. I think it'll go that way.
I don't think I read that.
Yeah.
And we'll just scan through all the documents. We'll do it on the next ones.
But yeah, if the commission was that big, I won't be sat here doing a podcast trying to reach more people. But yeah, so like, on your like investment journey, then did you like for people like watching this and stuff, like, and they want to get into property? Did you do any courses at all, or did you pay for any training to get where you are now?
Nothing.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, nothing. I feel quite strongly. I'm quite opinionated as well, but I feel quite strongly on courses, and I think there's a couple of really good educators out there in property.
Yeah.
But there's some really shit ones.
Yeah.
Some really bad ones, and I know for a fact some property millionaires, which they label themselves as, make a hell of a lot more money from their education company than they do from the portfolio.
Yeah.
And it really annoys me.
Well, it's a bit like when, like, I was like, crypto seems to have fallen off a cliff at the moment. No one's talking about that, are they? But there was, again, people teaching you how to get into crypto. And it's like, if you're making so much money from crypto, why do you need to teach me how to do it? Why don't you just sit in your bedroom and just rake all this money in?
Yeah, exactly.
But like property, like, don't get me wrong, it's a great way of building wealth, keeping wealth. Like, for me, like, I don't see it as an income source now. Like, I'm changing my buy-to-lets to repayment because I want that long-term equity because I'm not reliant on it anymore.
Yeah.
But people are like, I want to get into property to make money, and one family let might make you £200 a month if you're lucky, which you then need to start putting money away for potential voids, maintenance, that sort of thing. Like, it is a long-term thing, so be wary of these people that are saying that you can make $1 million in your first year, because it just doesn't happen, does it?
No, and through the sourcing company, that when I were on the sales side, I must have the conversation every day, just trying to set people's expectations. So they come off an education course, they were really excited, buzzing, inspired to get started, but they were thinking they were going to make a fortune within a year. I mean, we've been buying free for nearly 4 years now, since I was 23 years, and we've only just, from the first company ourselves, started taking a wage from it.
Yeah,
that's 3 years.
Yeah,
I mean, we have obviously reloaded all the money back into it through refinances and a little bit of cash flow, but we've literally just started taking away from it.
Yeah, I think you need to look at it as it's a retirement and it's a bonus. Like, I speak to loads of people, I want to go full time in property, and it's like, have a look at what that actually looks like day to day, because if you're getting phone calls from tenants every day and you're running around in a van like doing paint touch-ups and stuff, it's like, is that what you signed up to? So I think some people have got this like image in their head where they're going to be sat on a beach with a laptop just watching the rent come in and they don't have to do anything. It's more hands-on than what people realise, but it has got the benefits. But I'm glad you said you didn't pay for any training, because I never either.
No, I didn't.
I found so many free like the podcast, like the property, the two Robs, what are they called? I hadn't listened to it in ages, but that got me going.
I know what you mean.
They brought out books, I've read all them. There's loads of other books, and you just find it online and stuff. And I think the only way to really learn is to jump in and just get on with it, isn't it? Like, just try it.
Literally, yeah. I mean, the education sector's just all over the place. There's crash courses for £1, and then I actually went to I won't say the name, but I went to a crash course when I was younger. It was free, it was £1.
Yeah.
And because I had the sourcing company, it wasn't anything I already knew, but it was probably quite good for the people that were there. But at the end of the show, he got on the mic and he was shouting and he was going, he was selling his mentorship. I've got a 12-month mentorship. It's normally 12 grand. Today it's 7. And I'm looking at people like, no one's gonna, and they were like, go to the bat now. There must have been 10 people that sprinted to the bat.
Wow.
They stood
Credit
up,
card in hand.
Yeah, they stood up and they legged it. Like, they nearly pulled their hamstrings going to the bat. But I know there were, and there's things come out about people, they were telling people to pay on the credit cards and stuff and taking loans out and stuff.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it?
It's all online, it's all on YouTube, it's all on podcasts. Just spend your time and speak to people. I learnt a lot from, like, the 68 Grafton House I bought off Dan Trooper, who had a sourcing company at the time. He introduced me to the council, he helped me with the regulations, and then used Lee for all the refurbs. Chris I used for the letting agency. So Chris managed my houses before I came on board in the letting agency.
Yeah.
And you just ask people questions. You learn so much from just talking to people.
And that's one thing I found about like the property circles is like everyone's so happy to give you a piece of advice. Like you're all in it together. Like some people have had some absolute nightmares which they're quite happy to share, so that you don't have to go through it. But yeah, I go to like a few different property networking events, and you do get the people that are starting out. And like my biggest bugbear, obviously being a mortgage advisor, is unless you're actually buying it, I can't help you. So like the rent to service accommodation, that sort of thing, that's not something that I would get involved with because you're not buying it. But yeah, they'd be like people that have just come fresh off a course, like full of energy because like they've got all this knowledge and they're just dying to use it. I don't have any money. I've got no investments already. I've spotted a house that I want to buy. Do you want to go 50-50 and you put all the money in? And I'm like,
say that.
I only met you 30 seconds ago. Like, I'm not going to give you 50 grand. I don't even know you.
Yeah.
And I go to the next person and the next person. I was like, fair enough. Like you're going for it, but yeah, I think you need to build that track record not only for you to learn, but if you do want a joint venture, then you need something to prove to people.
They're the JVs, joint ventures, and I knew you were going to say it when you were talking about it. Just the easiest way to obviously buy is to get someone else to pay for it, but I hate it. We didn't start doing joint ventures till last year.
Yeah.
Till last year, until we'd done so many properties, so many conversions, been through planning. We didn't start looking for JV partners till I felt we'd got enough experience that we weren't going to mess it up. Because if you mess it up, yeah, you've got to pay them. We'll find a way to pay them back. But it's your reputation as well. Yeah, you got to find the right time to do it. But people just jump into it.
Yeah, it's I mean, like fair play. Like you probably spent $7 grand on this course, and you're trying to get your money's worth out of it. And we've all got to start somewhere. But yeah, I think as much as we probably bash lenders at times, like they've got it right. Like they want you to have some sort of skin in the game in the form of your deposit. Yeah. So it's like if we're going to do it 50-50, I would want 50% of the money from you. Because if it's just my money, are you really going to be that bothered if this goes belly up? But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of ways to get into property. I mean, so you're kind of like more into the management and letting side, kind of sourcing for yourself now. Yeah. So next 5 years, what's the plan for you guys?
Keep doing the same thing. Keep buying.
Keep getting after it.
Yeah. The main thing for us is just to buy as many as we can. We're moving really into the JV space now. Because the thing that we realised is you can grow to a certain extent with your own funds, but using JVs probably doubles you. Well,
that's the biggest thing, isn't it? Like we see it, and like I've seen it myself, is no matter how much money you earn, if you're trying to buy as many properties as possible, we all reach that point where you do run out of cash, don't you?
Yeah, you're always going to run out, and yeah, you might, unless you've got millions and millions in the bank, then you're fine, but if you've not, you need to utilise other people's cash, and the way that we've been running at the minute and focusing on, so one of our investors he's got a full-time job, decent job in recruitment. He's packed. He's rammed all the time. He does not have a time to even look on Rightmove, look for properties, etc. But he wanted to invest in property. So obviously we do that day to day. So I said, look, we can do it for you. We've got all the team in Hull. I can find the property, we can refurb it, we can let it and then manage it. Yeah. We can do everything for you. I can find you the best deals. But I'm doing all the work, so you put all the money in. And that's where we've sort of been doing it. And we always ensure that on refinance, so we always get like a buy refurbished refinance project. Yep. So we can pull the funds out and go again. There's two options. We can refinance, you can get the money that you put back into your pocket, or we keep recycling it.
And then go again.
Yeah. But we always want to work with people that want to recycle.
But that's where that joint venture's balanced though, because you have got that experience, you have got that track record, you've got the contacts here, you can project manage it. So that's a joint venture made in heaven, isn't it? That works perfectly. So obviously for people watching this, if people want to find out more about you, obviously use you guys for lettings and the management and sourcing and stuff, where's the best place to direct people to catch you guys?
We're on LinkedIn. Obviously my name's Brad Martin. We've got Instagram for the lettings, KK Accommodation. We've got an Instagram as well, you can reach out to Brad_Martin. But yeah, just generally reach out or reach out to you and you'll get through to me. But yeah, anything, if you need your property managing in Hull or surrounding areas, we've got the letting agency. If you need any refills, we can help with that. Need any property source, we can help with that. We do both sides. We can just source a property for you and take a fee. We can do a joint venture. After this, I'm actually meeting another joint venture partner that come down from London. So I'm meeting them after to see if we can do something together. So yeah.
Happy days. Well, we'll share all your information in the show notes. When this goes live, we'll be tagging you guys in it as well, so you guys can share it. But no, really enjoyed that. It's been nice to chat about rugby, life after rugby, kind of how similar our lives are.
Definitely.
But no, I really enjoyed that, mate. Thanks for coming on, and we'll get this pushed out. And then on next month's episode, we've got my own accountant, Sean, from Lloyd Dowson. After the budget, we can now talk about all the tax implications and things like that. So tune in for episode 8 with Sean Maloney next month.